How was it sanctioned? Everyone knows it. It's an open secret. They bribe and they get the job done. And the layout is planned not properly. And when such incident happens, they just catch hold of the developer or any other thing, and they save their skin. So the fault lies with the authorities, because a common man cannot be booked for any crime of which is committed by the
It's not
authorities.
the question of booking any common man. The parents also responsible. Also, that what I said. Parents also should be, they must be take care of 18 months old child. They must be also take care of the child also. Always.
No, the child can always go out and play and stroll in
that
front
is true.
of the house.
Where?
In front of the house.
They don't even have 10
No,
square
it's
feet
true.
for the whole
I am not
family.
talking about this particular incident.
Yeah, but in other
It's
instances,
any whatever it
see,
is.
we people live in large houses with
What? No,
compound
it is not
walls
the
and
question of
gates.
large houses. They are also responsible. I said. It is, my good friend said 25%. Whether 5% or 25% or 30%,
Some
not the
responsibility
percentage.
is
Some
there.
responsibility must be there for the parents also regarding their children.
Of course, parents do
But they cannot-
have the responsibility. They do take care of the children. But tell me, can they be at the
Policing
back of the
alone?
child for 24
They
hours?
can.
They would have
working.
come from
Can
the
the
back
BBMP
from the
back
work.
up these people for 24 hours?
Of course, BBMP is a
got
body.
staff.
BBMP is a body. There are many people into it.
BBMP or the
It's
police
an
cannot be
organization.
responsible for everybody's
Cover the drains.
about everything.
No, but this
They cannot
open
be.
drain,
No,
open
it's
drain.
true. We already said
There are so
before,
many-
Mr.
not
Khalid,
this,
before you
20
came,
years.
Mr. Khalid, before you came, we talked about the same thing, about something should be done, retaining wall or the grill or whatever it is should be done, as our friends are saying.
Yeah, people have been talking.
No, that's
but
true.
is there any concrete step taken by the government, by the authorities, by the
Like I said,
BBMP?
260
From the
crore
last
rupees.
occasion.
260 crore rupees has only for the drain.
where
has
is
gone
it
in
gone?
drain.
I agree with you.
260
See, a
crore
decade
rupees have
before-
gone in the drain, I said.
Well,
Down
I'll tell
the
you,
drain.
a decade
That's
before,
what I said.
The minister concerned, Mr. Anand Nag, if I'm right, yeah, Anand Nag was the Bangalore Development Minister.
Yes.
He had said
Ramakrishna Hegde was the chief
specifically,
minister.
Ramakrishna Hegde, he had said specifically that there should be coordination between different departments. But tell me, who has worked on it?
The same thing I told just now.
Yes.
Just now I
No,
told.
nothing. So
maybe
there
KD,
should be
BWSSP,
some-
police
No,
department or
There should be some
Yes.
legislation. There should be some legislation passed properly and implemented
Question of
strongly.
legislation passing, it is not the criteria,
No, it
Mr.
should be
Khalid.
implemented.
It is a question of the having,
See-
your make up your mind.
No, but there has to be a direction to it. There has to be a
Coordinating
force.
authority.
Yes.
It's a coordination, simple
The
coordination.
mindset that we have now observed, the mindset, this is established, I must say this is established, that we all have a mindset, unless we don't get a push, we don't move.
That's what I said the very first thing. The push should be there.
Well-
Why one out of 28 constituencies in Bangalore city? Now, of course, 28 was only 12 when Mr. Hegde was the chief minister. Only 12 constituencies were there. In 12 constituencies, one constituency will improve to the maximum extent, another constituency is not going to improve. Who is responsible? The local MLA, local councillor, also responsible. I never said they also, I said.
Yes,
They are
Mr.
also responsible for that.
Well, I would like to ask one question is, if today or from time Abhishek drowned, TV9 has taken up this
Cause.
cause so intensively, daily, there is Jagore BBMP. With all this, what has the BBMP learned till today? Have they opened their eyes? Or are they listening to what is happening? They have got just a deaf ear for whatever is happening.
All right.
It's like pouring water on a duck's back.
All right, now let's toss across. My colleague Sakshi is telling us about how the search operation is underway at Rajakalwe.
What started off as a rescue operation yesterday has now become a search operation. Yes, this is the kind of work, this is the kind of manual labor being done to retrieve the body of Vijay, the 1.5-year-old baby who drowned inside a small drain which leads to this Raj Kalwe, which is being combed at this point of time. Now, these men have been at it since yesterday. Almost more than 24 hours of the rescue operation have passed, and this entire drain has been combed once in the morning, but since nothing could be found, they started from the place where the boy had fell, combed it right throughout the entire Raj Kalwe, all the way up till the Madiwala Lake, to the initial section where this Raj Kalwe breaks into the Madiwala Lake. Nothing was found. Unfortunately, these men have been at it for a very long time, using just their rubber gumboots that they have and the kind of sticks and equipment that they have. They've retrieved about 4 bodies of stray dogs, which they believed initially were could probably be the body of the little boy. And apart from that, they have been toiling it for a very long time. There have been snakes that have they've encountered. Apart from that, there's so much foliage around. If you can see, there is so much foliage in these in these Raj Kalways, which had to be broken down using JCBs that eventually uprooted all the foliage here. And it has been quite a tedious task for them, looking at the way it's being done. And apart from that, this is the second round of combing they're doing at this point of time. They claim that they will keep doing it till this evening. And obviously, this Raj Kalwe goes and flows into the Madiwala Lake. But combing those 25 acres of sea, of water that the Madiwala Lake is made of, will not be possible for these men to do. Now, this is right before lunchtime. They are just about to break into lunch in some time. But till now, no headway, no body being found, no Vijay. So definitely, this is the second day of the operation that are going on. There looks to be nothing like them calling off the operation at this point of time. The operation will go on till today evening, and probably they will decide in the evening if tomorrow also this operation is expected to return. All these men are supposed to return here and are supposed to comb this Raj Kalwe and these drains yet again. With camera person Srinivas, this is Sakshi for News9.
All right, thank you very much, Sakshi, for that quick update of what is happening on the location. I'm joined by Mr. Ashok Kumar on the phone line, who's calling us. Hello, Mr. Ashok.
Hello.
Yes, we are listening to you. You're on the show, sir.
Yeah, actually, every area that engineer and respective officials, they should inspect regularly and see that what all the defects is there, they have to do it. Nowadays, I never seen these officers and other people, they are not taking rounds, they are not doing anything. So these are all the things. Now the kid is died or whatever this one is there, just in TV, everything they will discuss, and after that no action being taken. Who is responsible? Who is officer responsible? In what way it's prevented? This and all, they are not doing it. Just after discussion, it is the matter is over. That's all.
Of course, what we are also at loss to understand is why is nobody responding to all this. Of course, let's go across to Jyotsna, who's calling us from RR Nagar. Hello, Jyotsna.
Hello? Hello?
Yes? Yes, please go ahead. We are listening to you.
Yeah, there's one point that I did like to make, because I'm a resident quite nearby RR layout, and people have, they have been complaining that past almost 6 years that whole area was supposed to be a quarry, and now it has been completely dumped by garbage, and just passing by that area is like going through a hell, and I wonder how people live through that smell, and the officials have not yet responded. So, and even in and around areas, there is no proper drainage, despite efforts by people to talk to the officials and contributions by the layout members themselves. So I think that point should be put on to the BBMP officials. And many people have placed their opinion that the working class people should take care of their children. But I think when they are daily wages and their main issue is about gaining food for that day, I don't think they would even bother to see what their child is doing. They would just see if they've got enough cash for that day, and if they are able to live for that day, and how they can survive the next day. So I think blaming the parents is not the right thing, and knowing that the child is no more and giving compensation is just for the sake, it won't bring the life back. So I think the whole thing is blamed on the BBMP itself. So that's where I did like to stand my point, that BBMP officials should now really stand up to everything.
Jyotsna, thank you very much for calling, but I'd just ask you a question. What in your own individual capacity would you want the BBM, how actually would you actually approach the BBMP to get a response from them?
One situation was there where I had an opportunity to attend a model press conference from my college to the BBMP commissioner himself. But incidentally, I found out that it was not worth it, because Mr. Bharatlal Meena he said he's busy. The actual point was that he was scared by the bomb questions. So we were actually stopped by questioning. So he said that he's busy and he's just left that place. So, and as a resident also, being a part of all these contributions and everything, it has made no difference at all. And even today, even just today morning, we had to pass by that road and it's unbearable. The smell is just unbearable. So I think efforts in small number wouldn't make a big difference. So we should do something that it can just bring in a change from nowhere in the blue moon. That's how it should be.
All right, thank you very much, Jyotsna, for calling in, and thank you very much. At the same time, I must thank Mr. Prabhakaran also for being here. And Jyotsna, of course, we have taken what you've been thinking about, and this is really very serious. That's exactly what we have been discussing here also. And we'll just take a quick break, and when we return, we'll talk about the whole issue once again. We'll give you a quick update of what is happening on ground as well. It's 4:30. It's more than 32 hours now. And we'll give you a quick update of what is happening, and we'll take that quick update from all my colleagues who are out there on the location right now. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back. 18-month-old Paw Vijay, whom we lost yesterday at 7:30 a.m. into an open drain, of course, a death trap which was there. And of course, it's another unfortunate incident that we are seeing. Barely 5 months ago, we saw Abhishek losing his life to a similar kind of a situation. Well, we are also joined by Dr. C.V. Geeta, who's a retired professor and former chairperson of the Department of Human Development. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being here. We are also joined by a journalist, Mr. Subramanian Vincent, who's the editor of The Citizen Matters. I'll straight away come to you on that, Mr. Vincent. Does the citizen really matter here?
Well, I mean, going by, if you just go by everything you're seeing, it's not the case. If you look at who's announcing the compensation, it's being announced by the state government, which is a political body, elected body. Mr. Meena hasn't come out and announced the compensation. He should have said something. If the BBMP announced the compensation, at least you can say they're responding first foot forward, but they're not. It's actually the state government which is. Now, I was interviewing Mr. Meena just a few days ago, and the open drain was the first question I asked him, because he came over after the previous commissioner was transferred.
And that too, it was the transfer and that transition was because of an open drain as well.
Right. So that was my actual first question to him, saying you've actually completed 100 days in office, and what do you have to say about the issue? Now, he says it's a very administrative response. He says we've got these newly added areas, like the area where this particular issue happened. These were added because of the erstwhile, CMCs. They don't have enough infrastructural money for the drain work in those areas. So they have not closed many of those drains. According to him, there is no money. They are applying to JNURM for 800 crores for the first stretch of open drains, and they're applying for another 6,000 crores or something was the number he gave. Now, this is one response. When I asked him that you're a bigger organization now, you were one city earlier, then 7 municipal councils were actually amalgamated. Can the BBMP handle such a big area? What have you done? How many more people have you added? There was no clear response from him as the head of the actual authority as to these are the numbers, these many people are there, and this is how we're going to deal with this. There is the kind of response given by some of the people who are actually speaking to you on the phone. There's a sense that he's not particularly interested in pushing all ends up. I'm not saying he's like that as a person, but this is the sense I got. So you have a tragedy like this, and you have one layout, so you will ask the developer, and like earlier, some of the people here said, it is probably the developer's fault, but it's always a two-sided thing. Who is the actual official involved? So we can go on and on about specific accountability, about one official and one particular, actual layout developer, but this is a deep-rooted problem, as everybody has already said. Unless the individual responsibility leads all the way to the top, where it's the BBMP who should actually come out and say, this is how we found out that this is the developer who was involved, this is the official who was involved, here are the names, and here's what we're going to do about them. And it's not just suspension. Everybody knows in this country that suspension doesn't work. People have paid salaries while they are suspended because they prolong the cases in the court. So suspension is an eyewash, everybody knows that. So unless an official is taken off the rolls for having approved that layout, and the layout developer is actually sufficiently penalized, and it's done quick enough with names in the presence of the media, it's not clear to people that something is happening. And again in this issue, if it is the case, if it's true that the government is saying that they're going to penalize the developer, how did the government come to know that?
That's what the minister has said to our reporter.
Right, which means how did they come to that conclusion? Which means they should know the official also who was actually involved in approving the layout. Then all those names should come out and we should actually see some action taken. Else we're not, we're just going to see this happen again, and unfortunately, God forbid, we don't want to see this happen again, but it might just happen again.
Dr. Geeta, 5 months down the line, we just saw Abhishek and now we have Vijay.
Yes.
Rather, we don't have him now.
Yes.
Where do you see the city headed?
See, somehow I feel there is not much of concern, even individual to individual and society and like that. But I find mostly the problem lies here. Who works and who doesn't not work also we should know. Higher up says you do this and he may not go and do it. And people like us give a phone call as an activist, immediately they will come here and do things. But many people don't have the access to that. Now, don't you think all taxpayers are same? That hierarchy is there. I mean, the differentiation of doing the work for people and also I find that is mostly in us. And particularly doing from morning we are watching the TV, doing the same thing and doing it doesn't help us at all. At least even now they don't wake up and see, because this repeatedly is happening. A new layout, as mentioned, new layout comes out and nobody tries to hold anybody responsible. There is lot of pulling the strings here and there because of many reasons which everybody knows about it. And there is no as an authority to say let us complete this work by this time. And pathetically people who, particularly this area, people not be able to meet people and do certain things. The morning I was seeing the paper, they say somebody has taken the slab for construction work or something like that. Even people who stay in the area also, they should know what is happening around there. And there is no neighborhood watch or something which can enlighten the neighborhoods and do something work. I think that mostly we have to do something with that, so that collectively group can do something. But unfortunately this has happened, repeatedly is happening. Now because the rainy season is going to stop somewhere in September 30th, they forget about rains. Again, next year only they take up the issue. But why don't they check up things and doing it? Because mostly I agree with you. Agree boldly say because of the corruption and nobody is going to do anything. Even smallest to the smallest, we find this in BBMP we find. And many times we approach people with lot of things. Even the authorities, they don't reply to us, they don't do anything. Even nobody to check anybody. Even park is going to be taken by some people, we have to apply for a PIL and get the permissions. And how many people can do this? Bangalore is so vast. I think even now they don't wake up and say, what is happening, let us do something. Only when pressure comes from the media, pressure comes from the people, whoever is the authority, elected body, they go there and give some money and come. But it may again happen somewhere else. Is this the answer to give? Is this the answer to tell us when we are a part of the system? Where is the accountability is not there. There is no answer.
I'd repeatedly asked the same question. This is such a strong statement which has been made by the authorities that the parents should have been made responsible for that.
I'll tell you here.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, parents. Okay, I can agree with you. Okay, parents should be held responsible for this because parents are the caretaker of their own child. But there are instances when we have seen, we have found, we have read in the newspaper that one software engineer in Koramangala, she fell into a pit dug by this BBMP, and she was a software engineer. Now she is there in the hospital from past several years. She is in coma. Another 55-year-old man, he fell into an open drain. Another family of 5 driving in a Maruti van was flooded away. So tell me, they were all elders. They were very conscious, but they have fallen. They have fallen because of the negligence of these people. Okay, BBMP, they say that we are doing our work best. They publicize, they give a lot of advertisement, everything, lot of hoarding. But tell me, what has happened? You know, they wait for an accident to happen to wake up, and it's just wash up. I watch that they give compensation, they talk big, they suspend. The suspension, as my friend said, suspension will not help because they send him on a holiday.
Mr. Anjum, just one quick thing. It's also about who is saying that parents are responsible. If it turns out that a fellow parent, who's also a construction worker, had to say that, this lady should have been extra careful, that's one thing. If it's a government that's saying that, the parents are responsible, they have no locus standi. People who themselves are partly the problem cannot shift the blame on actually somebody else. So in this case, we've got to be a little careful about overreacting to one particular entity here, which is actually the government, saying that the parents are responsible. What have they done after the amalgamation happened, after this big city has been formed, to finish off the drain work process, and how fast can it be done? All of those things are not clear. And then on the issue of layout formation, there's a particular reality to the city of Bangalore, which is there were plenty of irregular layouts that have happened in this city because of the earlier municipal councils giving permissions. Left, right and center, permissions were given. Now these layouts are all part of the new city. Now, and which is why the Sakrama legislation is also there. As part of this resolution, unless both the state government as well as the city, they come forward and say, this, in order to address future problems in these layouts, we will also address the issue of illegal layouts. We'll also address the issue of irregular layouts in a clean way. Otherwise, it will be addressed here, and again, it will not actually happen somewhere else. So there's a deeper thing even on that front.
Okay,
There is the solution to this problem. Since it is Bangalore city has expanded wide and large, why can't they split it into 4 zones?
No, there are zones.
Not
There
so,
are
not
about
so.
9 or 10 zones.
No,
there
no.
are.
Each is headed. Each zone is headed by one commissioner or a deputy commissioner. So then they split with their particular engineering staff.
Now, this is precisely what people are asking
This is what
Mr.
they should
Meena.
do. Sitting in one,
No,
in
there
one
was-
headquarters here, and trying to monitor the whole area is impossible.
Let me give you an example. When I was waiting outside the commissioner's office for the interview, I met Brigadier Murthy. He had come from HSR layout. He has come for a particular problem along with the other residents there, not unlike the problems that people are actually calling you about. It's about encroachment.